Hi friends, today we will learn about the trade life cycle. So before we go into the life cycle of a trade, let us quickly understand what a trade is. A trade is nothing but the buying and selling of goods and services. Here we are talking about trade very specific to the finance domain. So, so quickly going into the various stages of a trade life cycle. The first stage is the pre-trade. The pre-trade stage of the trade life cycle, as the name suggests, refer to various activities which take place before the trade is executed. There are two main activities we must discuss. The first one is client onboarding. The sales team of the bank reaches out to multiple clients, completes their due diligence checks, gets their legal documentation in place, ensures their KYC or Know Your Customer process is completed, and onboards them onto the bank or fund. The second is the risk controls. Now, before a large trade is executed, when I say large, the risk metrics, those trades are above a certain set threshold for a desk, trader, or a legal entity. In those cases, the trader would need to get a pre-trade approval from the risks managers before he can go ahead and execute that trade. Now, both of these together, client onboarding and risk controls, comprise the pre-trade stage of the trade life cycle. Now, let us talk about trade execution. Trade execution is the agreement between a buyer and a seller to exchange securities. It is a legally binding agreement. Trade execution is done in two ways, order-driven or code-driven. I will cover both of them in a different video, but for today we will focus on the bigger picture. Let us take a simple example of how you can execute a trade. You want to invest in a particular stock. You go to your online broker, select the stock, choose the required quantity, and then execute your trade. Execution is very different from clearing and settlement. When you execute a trade, you agree to buy that particular stock in exchange for cash. Settlement, typically for equities, takes place 2 days later, thus named T+2 settlement, wherein after 2 days, the stock will actually be available in your account for further transactions, and the cash would be transferred to the seller's account. Trade clearing captures everything between execution and settlement. Clearing consists of three major steps: capture, enrich, and validate. First, the trade capture team gets all the necessary trade details. This would include trade date, the notional, the position quantity, and other trader details. Next, there are enrichments which are performed on these basic trade details, where in the back office, along with the product control team, gets all the necessary reference data for these trade details so that they can pass it downstream for further processing. The trade validation team then validates the trade details populated as part of the capture and enrichment process before these details are sent downstream to other risks and finance consumers. Now let us look at the last stage of the trade life cycle, ongoing trade and position management. Now between the trade date and the settlement date, the traders are free to make any modifications or terminations on their trades. All of this would comprise as the trade management. The risk team are now also monitoring any open trades with the calculation of daily P&Ls, both realized and unrealized, and at the same time looking at risk metrics such as VAR on a daily basis for these open trades. Both of these comprise of the two major things which happen in this stage of the life cycle called as the trade and position management. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much. Have a good day.